Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. This is Petal. Hope you are having a fantastic week. I know it's only Tuesday. Well, I'm doing a very late night recording of this. So I hope you're having a great week so far. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As you know, we are a channel that supports the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, both of whom you can see on screen right now. We are just, they are our faves. And along with Archie and Lily and Mama Dory and all the Poola Guide chickens, Mama Mia, all of us here at Sussex Squad, welcome. Well, it was a wonderful day today. To see Harry and to hear Meghan, Meghan giving Harry a little bit of an assist in a video. Actually, the Bob Woodruff Foundation, they have every year they do an event where in support of veterans, and Harry has been a part of it and has taken part of it in quite a few years. And so, of course, they invited Harry back to do it. And it was wonderful because we got an introduction to Prince Harry, the stand-up comedian. I love it, and Harry has such an incredible sense of humor anyway, and such has such great timing in everything. So it was wonderful and such a wonderful surprise because I had not even thought about the event. He does it every year around this time, Remembrance or Veterans Weekend, and so it was funny. I forgot that he did that. So for me, it was just like, oh. And before, there hadn't been the bit of comedy into it. He just did a straight, really honoring the veterans and stuff. And this year, he lightened things up a bit, and he said that Bob asked him to debut his comedy act, and he wasn't sure if that was, Bob was basically playing a joke on him. That was the joke. But he's like, in honor of or representing the gingers everywhere, because to Harry, their ginger were in a small minority, and so he's representing gingers and introducing his comedy act. And it was just really fun and exciting, and I don't know, it was just so cute. We're totally seeing Harry use element, and again, after hearing him voice his book, he has such great timing. Is why for me, hearing him and just he takes you on a journey, and there's something about his voice and his tone and his delivery that just works. And again, he has great comedic timing. We saw him do the ginger bit with Ed Sheeran before. That's what I was thinking when I heard it. It was like, oh, I guess Ed Sheeran wasn't there to to make up the ginger population for the last events that he did for Bob. Harry was, I guess, in single digits maybe for the gingers, but it was really nice. And so this is, I think this was People. I forgot to put it in People's logo there. I think this is People magazine. It says Prince Harry is poking fun at himself. The Duke of Sussex made his comedy debut at the 17th annual Stand Up for Heroes benefit, which is Bob Woodruff's benefit, on Monday. The 39-year-old gave a speech at the event, which was held in support of veterans, service members, and their families. And this is what he said, part of his comedy excellence. As someone who has never been scrutinized, I haven't even had to prepare much, but I have been working on this particular act for quite some time. Everyone I know tells me it's perfect. No, they aren't people who just tell me that what I want to hear. Oh no, Harry's tongue-in-cheek speech began. And so he went on, the people who told him that he was that his speech was perfect, not people who would tell him what he wanted to hear, but those people are his banker, his Reiki coach, and his finance manager or something like that. And it was really cool. And so when he did that at Meghan's little speech, she's like and so he picked up just in case you hadn't seen the video, he picked up the paper, and I think he's like, wait, we're not doing it? I guess continuing the comedy bit. And she's like, no. And And then he went off and, got serious with it. But I love that little sketch. I love that little comedy bit. And again, Harry should be doing some acting. Whenever SAG decides, I think they're getting close to ending the strike, hopefully, fingers crossed. And Harry should do a bit of comedy. He should do a little bit of acting because he's really good. And so, but a little bit of the serious parts of his speech. I know our experiences and journey to this point differ, but we are always connected through what we've learned as humans, what we face as families, and how we've come out stronger because of our ability to listen, to understand, and to support one another, he added. I am immensely grateful for this community, for the experiences of the past and present, and what you represent and how you show up. And so I think his whole speech was about 3 minutes and something, about 3 minutes and something to 4 minutes. So it was really a wonderful speech. So thank you, Prince Harry, for just again talk about showing up for your brothers and sisters in the military, and just they love you so much, and I know he loves them so much. So many people say that he's so at home. Like when he's with his military mates, he's at home. And of course, talk about home. They filmed this at his home in Montecito, as we can see the beautiful trees in the back of him there. So, I mean, Harry's looking relaxed and calm and at home and just doing his thing. So obviously this coming weekend is Memorial Weekend in the US, and Remembrance, they call it Remembrance in the UK. So he's wearing his red poppy for that, to honor servicemen and women. Don't know if he's going to be doing anything that day, but we shall see. One of the things, I swear, I think this is the Mail, I guess. Someone posted a screenshot of this, and looking at the format of this and the way and the font, it looks like the Mail. A Mail article. I didn't check, but I'm assuming it's the Daily Mail. But they of course, Harry and Meghan, they are going on the stealth now. We don't know when they're going to be showing up, what they're going to be doing. It just happens when it happens. And everybody just, you react how you react. So this being a British tabloid, Prince Harry did not wear a coronation medal given to him by King Charles as he delivered a gag-filled video monologue for U.S. veterans in New York last night. The Duke of Sussex wore 4 British military medals, including 3 given to him by his grandmother, the Queen, and the Royal British Legion poppy on his suit jacket, during a monologue filmed at his 12 million, so now it's 12 million pounds, home in Montecito. Notably absent was the medal. To laugh when I read this. This is just hilarious. Notably absent was the medal minted to mark his father's coronation, which Harry was awarded alongside members of the armed forces and frontline emergency workers. The medal that he's not wearing, which is made of silver and plated in nickel, features the image of the King and Queen Camilla. And was also given to those directly involved in the delivery of the coronation. A total of 400,000 were issued. That's right. They gave Harry a medal with Charles and Camilla on it. Now think about that for a second. Why would anybody in their right mind expect Prince Harry to be wearing a medal with Camilla's face on? And this is why I had to read this article, because it's so stupid. I mean, why would anybody in their right mind expect Harry to be walking around with a medal with Camilla's face? I mean, you just have to read. You didn't even have to read Spare, but I mean, if you've read Spare, you wouldn't ask such a stupid question, or you wouldn't even come up with something this stupid. I mean, imagine Prince Harry walking around with a medal with Camilla's face on it. I can't even imagine him with King Charles's face. Let's more Camilla. So, and if you know how Harry feels about Camilla, yeah, this is really stupid. So whether Harry got the medal and just ditched it or never did get the medal, who knows? But Harry sure ain't wearing that thing, and I couldn't say I blame him. It's like, seriously, no. Just a no. I mean, like, yeah, imagine walking around with a woman who destroyed my mother's life. And, oof, dude, you people are crazy. Anyway, moving on from this nonsense. And this is just a little bit about the foundation. Well, not about the foundation, but just a little. I think this was one of the flyers that they had. Stand Up is back. And November 6th, today, we're back with our friends at the New York Comedy Fest for the 17th annual Stand Up for Heroes return to David Geffen Hall. And so that's where they were yesterday. And so obviously Harry, he had a recording and he wasn't there in New York. Although it would have been amazing for Harry to be in New York, he was not. He was, obviously was home in Montecito with Meghan. So, but I love the fact, he has his love there helping him. And it just reminds me so much of how, when we see at Invictus, Meghan is in the audience while Harry is practicing his speech. And there she is again, right there. She's like his biggest cheerleader. And it's just wonderful, absolutely wonderful to see. So, yes, you go, Harry. You go. What else is oh god, what else is happening? So over the weekend, apparently the Buckingham Palace had to somehow drum up attention, and that's what it seemed they were trying to do, drum up attention for King Charles, who they swear had a great tour to Kenya. They swore that it was fantastic. So they had all of that stuff to write. They have other things with other royals going on. And what did they choose to write instead of focusing on, that mess overseas, that environmental mess that shall be nameless, and King Charles's supposed great tour? What did they come up with? And I didn't even read the whole article. I just read this part of it because someone posted it. And but the Times, the Times UK, it had an article written by Roy Anika. And of course, if it's something written by Roy Anika and it has Prince Harry in it, you gotta know Roy Anika is going to lie. Roy Anika just lies and lies and lies and lies and lies when it comes to Prince Harry. And she's always getting called out for her lies, and she continues to lie. But this is one of her lies. Yet, one key witness, and they're talking about King Charles' birthday, and he's going to have a little party, a little gathering for the family, I guess. And so it goes on to say, yet one key guest will be missing, although it is understood Charles invited his second son to the family gathering. The Duke of Sussex is not making from California. In September, Prince Harry also turned down an offer to spend some time with his father at Balmoral while he was visiting the UK for a charity event at the time of the anniversary of Queen Elizabeth's death. And so this was her piece, claiming that Harry turned down, or in British speak, snobbed the king. That he turned down an invitation to come to his birthday. Yeah, Harry should trek from California to go all the way to the UK just to celebrate his father's 75th birthday with a bunch of family members. Sure. Anyways, so that's what that was. And so all of the British press, I guess, started running with that narrative. Oh, Harry is, he is snobbing his father. How could he snob his father? It's his birthday. How could he? I noticed, they had mentioned nothing about Meghan. So it's only Harry. And so apparently only Harry got that invitation, and Harry said no. And so this new, I guess it's new, news outlet called The Messenger. And the funny thing with The Messenger is I just learned afterwards that from one of our wonderful squatty from the Squatty Detective Agency, posted a receipt that this guy, Dan Wakefield, who is now editor of this news outlet, was the same Dan Wakefield who was at People, who I guess used to use, as with many others, use Meghan and Harry for clicks, especially Meghan for clicks. And so, but anyway, Messenger, who I'd never heard of before, came out with a story completely refuting this nonsense from those in the British press. Again, the two liars at the bottom, because Kamala Tomney wrote this piece as well, this a long piece about it. And it's just like, y'all don't have nothing else to do. How old are you? No pigeons to feed, but yet here they are still talking about the Sussexes. So Camilla wrote this obviously crazy article in the Telegraph claiming the same thing, that Harry snobbed the prince. And so Messenger came out with this article, just sort of dropped it. King Charles is celebrating his upcoming 75th birthday with a party filled with family and friends, and reports stated that Prince Harry would not be in the attendance despite being invited. However, the Duke of Sussex spokesperson said those stories are inaccurate and disappointing. And according to the Sussex spokesperson, they said in response to the UK media headline, there has been no contact regarding an invitation to His Majesty's upcoming birthday. The spokesman told the Messenger, "It is disappointing that Sunday Times has misreported this story." It goes on to say, while the Sunday Times reported that Prince Harry was invited and turned down the invitation to Clarence House event on November 14th, a source with knowledge of the situation clarified to the Messenger that the palace had never reached out. And so they just completely debunked that whole lying narrative. And so reporters now are scrambling to try to, save face with this. It's like, y'all just need to give up and leave this man alone. But no, knowing them, they're just going to continue and try to find something negative in some way, shape, or form. And so, but I love it. I just love the slap down. I mean, were I Harry, I was just not even going to pay attention to it. But coming to think of it, I love the fact that Harry slapped down their lies, and it's so public, and so they cannot hide behind the fact that they are lying. And these two liars at the bottom here, Liar Nika, Camilla Tomlin is a liar. They just lie for no reason. And so, yep, there again this weekend. Whether it's the palace told them these lies or they just pulled it out of thin air, whichever way. But these two liars got put in their place. It is very funny. It is absolutely funny. And the funny thing about it is, I think what's happening is they are desperate to show King Charles as this loving, wonderful dad and granddad who just missed his grandchildren so much. And they're desperate to paint that picture. And there's the bastardly son that just refuses his father. Oh, what a heathen he is. They're just desperate for that narrative so much. And Harry and Meghan are like, no, you're not going to have that narrative. We're just going to call you out for the liar that you are. And so, but it is funny to watch. These people they are crazy. They are just nutcases. Anyway, moving on. And over to the real world for a little bit. Couple of things that's really great. A couple more. I think this leads up to 9 nations now has withdrawn their diplomats. They've withdrawn their staff, and so from Israel. And so Chad is the latest to have done it, and also South Africa, as you can see over there. So Chad has received its charged affairs in. Chad has recalled its charged affairs in Israel for consultation over the unprecedented deadly violence in Gaza. In 1972, it cut ties with Israel, but revived them in 2019. It is the first African nation to recall an envoy from Israel since the war began. And South Africa is also recalling their diplomats. It says South Africa is the latest country to recall its diplomats from Israel over what it says is collective punishment of the Palestinians in Gaza. 9 countries have so far withdrawn their ambassador or severed ties. So kudos to Chad and also to South Africa, doing and standing up for what's right. And it seems the dock workers around the world are doing something in their power to stop these ammunitions or bombs or whatever from making it to into the hands of Israel. And so Manolo de Santos tweeted, says dock workers in Barcelona refused to load or unload ship carrying war material for Israel. They joined the global demand for ceasefire now. There is a growing movement of solidarity with Palestinians, with millions taking action against genocide. What else is happening? Oh, I tell you, the joke for this just writes itself. Like, I don't even have to try. It's King Charles on his way to Parliament today, and yeah, he is riding along in his golden coach with Camilla, and it's so funny and tone deaf. It's just not even funny. Part of me is like, don't they have somebody there to help him with, okay, what's appropriate and what's not? I mean, how do you end up? I mean, on one hand, he could say, well, I'm not using fuel and I'm not, he could be saying stuff like that. But on the other hand, it's just like, dude, you're showing up. You're going to be talking about the economy for a bit, and you show up with in a gold carriage. And of course, the Republic group had 500 of their supporters that out there while Charles is going by and Camilla going by in their golden carriages. They were just screaming at the top of their lungs, not my king, and then booing him. And so, very much, I mean, hey, y'all can try to focus on Harry and Meghan all you want, but you have a king where you have the monarchy there, and the unpopularity is growing day by day. So, it's very funny. It says around 500 people turned up to protest, and the statement from on Republic's website, Twitter X account says, "We have just told Charles that he is not our king at the state opening of Parliament." 500 Republicans have turned up to protest for democracy and the right to elect our head of state. Thank you to all the amazing support. One of the things that's very funny about this is just how out of touch and in a bubble these people are. I mean, of course, with Parliament, we have the King's speech, but his speech is basically from the Prime Minister. So he is not, none of the things that Charles, if you've seen the speech, in 11-minute speech, none of it is confirmed that it's his opinions. He is literally just reading what the government told him to read. And so that's it. So I think it's a whole like 11-minute video. I watched some of it. But yeah, it is just with these ridiculous costumes, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's so funny just watching this and watching just the tone deafness that you just don't hear or see yourself to be able to come out and stuff like this. And part of me feel like, doesn't he advise us to tell him about, okay, well, this might not be the best thing to be wearing. This might have bad optics. It's just so bad. I'm like, why are they so bad at this? And to see him sitting there talking about the house, the housing crisis or the cost of living crisis, it was just like, oh my goodness. I'm like, dude, look in the mirror. Yeah, y'all are the ones that stole it from people, And these, obviously I guess, members of parliament with their wigs on, I guess that's who they were. And it's just like, look at the scene. Look at this tone deaf scene that some of it talking about the economy. I'm like, people, just think for a moment what you're saying. Think for a moment what you're doing. Think for a moment for what you're doing it for. And it's so tone deaf. Finally, The Guardian is doing an investigation into the royal family's finances. They want to know how much the taxpayers are paying for the royal security. Now, the security has always said they cannot reveal it. And so Guardian has decided that they're going to challenge that because they want, they did a whole expose, I think in July, August, around there, I think, on the royal family. So they want to do it again. They want to find out how much the taxpayers are paying. And again, of course, the royal family are like, no. And so they are going to court tomorrow to try and it's very, it's so funny they did this, and I'm sure they didn't expect people to know and figure out what it is they're doing and why they're asking for this information. It says judges of the tribunal are to decide whether the cost of protecting members of the royal family can, for the first time, be disclosed to the public. The Guardian will on Monday challenge the government's refusal to tell the public how much taxpayer money is spent on protecting King Charles and other members of the Windsor family. Over 2 days, the judges on the Freedom of Information Tribunal will hear an appeal by the Guardian, which is asking for the cost of providing security for the royal family between 2017 and 2020. The paper has stipulated that it is not asking how this total was spent on individual members of the Windsor family, nor the precise capability that the money is spent on. And a very interesting thing about this article is the time period, as you can see in red, the time period that they're asking for, 2017 and 2020. And why this is important is because, I mean, the royal family, the Windsors particularly, have been in power since, 1901 or whatever it was. Nobody has asked for any kind of security figures for the other times. The only time they are asking for, and the only info they're asking for, is that specific time period between 2017 and 2020. And what happened and what was the big deal within that time frame? Meghan was a part of the royal family. And this is why they won it. And again, don't be surprised if the Guardian comes out, if they win and the Guardian comes out with some really awful article about Meghan, because that's why they chose this time period. That is why they chose it. I don't think they expected anyone to guess or anyone to figure out what they're doing. But us squaddies figured this out in the first minutes we saw the article. We knew what that was. Why ask for that? I mean, again, they've been there for since 1901. Why the only time period you're looking for is the time period that Meghan was there? And so it's really sickening because, you think Guardian is a, semi-legit paper, and then they pull stuff like this. That's why I don't really trust the Guardian in a lot of ways. I use some of their articles, but in a lot of ways I don't trust them. But again, why only the time that Meghan was there? That they want this information? It's just very suspect. And so if they get permission for it, don't be surprised at some nasty articles, especially thrown at Meghan, because that's when they want. This is why they want it right before and right after she left. And if they get any specific information, then they want to compare how much money that the royal family base, how much money they spent, or the British taxpayers spent on Meghan, which is what they're trying to do. And so, squaddies, we all were calling it out because it's very obvious. I'm like, they've been there since 1901. And the only period you're interested in is the period that Meghan was there. That is sick. That is really sick. It's harassment. It's sick. And it's just gross. Anyway, that's it, guys. I think that's all I got. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to our awesome moderators, Lydia, Churchnelli, Karen M, Cookies and Cream, and Black Queen. Thank you all so much. Thank you to our 2 Cents crew who support the channel on a monthly basis. I appreciate you. And also to all wonderful supporters who support in the chat as well, and on PayPal and Cash App. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for your support. Have a fantastic day, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye.